Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having an amazing, what is it, Wednesday? Yeah, amazing Wednesday. So today we're going to hop into Mr. WACK100's case that he ended up filing against World Star HipHop. I came across this case because I was just searching like literally for WACK 100 cases against him and ended up filing a lawsuit that he filed against World Star. And it's very interesting, the things that I was reading, knowing who and how WACK 100 is. So it's just like, really, dude? But anywho's, without further ado, let's hop on into it. Alrighty, so we have this case where you see that Mr. Cash M. Jones, WACK 100 is the plaintiff, Media Lab.ai Inc., that is World Star Hip Hop, and we will actually get into it when I get to the complaint. And then here is Mr. Thomas K. Richards, that is a WACK 100's attorney, and then the attorneys for Media Lab.ai Inc. This case was actually filed on July 8th. And let's see. So everything was filed on the 8th. On the 10th, he went ahead and issued the summons and proof of service, meaning that he was able to file or serve Media Lab.ai, and they filed the proof of service on the 29th. Lab AI answered on August 30th. And since then, they have been gathering all of the needed documents in order to state their case. Now, I don't have a copy of their answer because that's not available, unfortunately. But hopefully, if and when the rest of the documents become available, I can get those for you guys. But other than that, I have the complaint, and that's all that matters as of right now. So they responded to the lawsuit. They ended up providing a copy of the video on a flash drive to support their motion that they filed on the 9th, also to strike the complaint. And normally when they file, anybody who's filing a motion to strike, that means that you're trying to remove part or whole of a party's evidence or statement from the legal proceedings. But in this case, they're trying to either remove part or whole, the whole complaint itself from the legal proceedings. Why would they do that? It could be a number of reasons. And I'm going to go over their complaint, but I want you guys to understand what a motion to strike the complaint means. So they can, the defendant has the right to do so if they feel that the information in the complaint is either unclear or repetitive, if it's inappropriate content or illegal content, if the information is irrelevant or immaterial, if it's a redundant defense, or if it's like any type of scandalous content. So those can be reasons why a defendant or any party will request a motion to strike. Okay. So WACK filed this complaint. He served it to them. They answered, but they are also moving to strike the complaint because for the following reasons that I stated. So it could be one of those following reasons, or it could be several of those reasons that I stated. All right. So let's hop on into the actual complaint. Let me see. There we go. Got to make sure I get to the right one. All right. Blow this up for you guys. So here, as you can see, y'all BFF Cash M. Jones, aka WACK 100. And here is Media Lab. So he sued them as well as any of its agents, employees 1 through 20. And normally what happens is, y'all hear me say time and time again, when more of the defendants are revealed, then they can actually amend the complaint and get those defendants, those newly added defendants, served. So here we have Mr. Plaintiff and okay, we already know that. All right, the parties. This is what I want, but okay, I want to back up because I'm just going to read from the beginning so it can all flow. So, Plaintiff Cash M. Jones, also known as WACK100, by and through his undersigned counsel, hereby sues Defendants Media Lab AI Inc. and Does 1 through 20, inclusive, all of them collectively as defendants, and alleges as follows. So, WACK100 lives in Los Angeles County. Media Lab is a Delaware corporation with its principal place of business in Santa Monica, California. So that's how they are able to sue in California. Those 1 through 20, inclusive, are defendants whose identities have not yet been ascertained. They are individuals, partnerships, corporations, and some other business entity. Okay. On information and belief, each Doe defendant was somehow responsible for the damages caused in this case. As soon as the true identities and capacities of the Doe defendants have been ascertained, the complaint will be amended to reflect the true names and capacities of each Doe defendant. All right, so for this, let's see, jurisdiction. Okay, blase, blase, blase. Let's see. All right. None of that. It's just talking about why they are able to sue in the state of California. All right, so here are the general allegations that WACK100 made. Plaintiff Jones is an entrepreneur, executive, and manager in the entertainment industry. He sucks at the manager part. Upon information and belief, Defendant Media Lab is the owner and or manager of the website called World Star HipHop.com. Founded in 2005, World Star HipHop, or WSHH, is a content aggregating video blog and is generally considered one of the top hip hop and urban cultural websites in the world. WSHH holds itself out as the premier online hip hop and viral destination. WSHH maintains an official channel, YouTube, the World Star Channel. They describe its World Star channel as follows. World Star Hip Hop is home of everything entertainment and hip hop. The #1 urban outlet responsible for breaking the latest premiere music video, exclusive artist content, entertainment stories, celebrity rumors, sports highlights, interviews, comedy skits, rap freestyles, crazy fight, eye candy models, and the best viral videos and more. A screenshot from the About section from the World Star channel is attached here too as Exhibit A. On or about January 27, 2024, defendants caused and permitted a video entitled WACK100 Exposed for being an alleged federal informant documentary. Oh, so now they're going to refer to that as the video throughout the complaint. And it was to be published on the official WSHH channel on YouTube. So, Wack, you out here informing folks. You informing the feds. I've always had my suspicions about WACK100. He just, how can I say it? It's just this aura about him. It's just something weird. Like, he manages all these people. You know, he says that Blueface is his manager, but yet Blueface is in millions of dollars in debt. How good of a manager are you? Is it all a front for a bigger plot? Anywho's, the video was described on the World Star channel as Money Mark confirms that Wack was an informant in his case. Oh, I need to write that down. I be kind of going over looking, and I redact information, but I don't be reading. So I need to figure out who Money Mark is. Written that down. So he confirmed that WACK100 was an informant in his case. Plus, we break down all of Wack's sick conversations with law enforcement. As of January 31st, 2024, the video had been viewed on YouTube nearly 150,000 times with over 800 comments. Compounding this, the video and its title went viral on social media and other platforms. All told, the video and its title have been viewed millions of times. I need to find that. And that's why, so my Instagram feeds is just fishing, working out, food, travel. that's about it. Yeah, and I don't see this on YouTube, so very interesting. Within the video, defendants published the following statements on the World Star channel about the plaintiff. Oh, so it says that sorry, let me turn off my phone. All right, so there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones. WACK100 Jones was caught on a wiretap with Dale Dog conspiring to commit unaliving. This is why his house was raided and led him to work with the police. Wack was Jones, also referred to as confidential source number 2. Jones has been exposed as a confidential informant in paperwork recently released. Wack Jones confirmed as confidential source. And why would the FBI be calling a big-time gangster like WACK100 to make sure he's okay unless there's a relationship between the two parties, which could have started when the felon was caught in Texas with firearms? Note to self. I need to look that up. Firearms case. Whew. All righty. So all of these are the defamatory statements that Mr. WACK100 is claiming. At the time of their publication, defendants were aware that the defamatory statements were about Plaintiff Jones. Defendants also reasonably understood the defamatory statements to mean that plaintiff had committed a crime. Indeed, multiple crimes are falsely attributed to plaintiff. The defamatory statements, however, are all demonstrably and provably false. Plaintiff has never been charged with a federal crime or indicted federally at any time. Plaintiff has never been an informant or a confidential source with any federal agency or law enforcement. Now, here's, and it says so they could demonstrate and they could prove that these statements were false, right? But if you are a federal informant, federal information is not viewable to the public. But if it is, and he's an informant, we would not be able to view, because that's the whole purpose of you being behind the scenes as an informant. Nobody should know that you're an informant. So of course, this information, oh my God, okay. So we can't say, okay, there's not a system that the public could go into and be like, oh, here is Wack Jones's information. He's a federal informant. That's not impossible. So we can't prove that, okay? So it's really, really, yeah. Anywho's, okay, Wack. Defendants knew that defamatory statements were false or had serious doubts about the truth of the statements or acted with reckless disregard as to the truth or the falsity of the defamatory statements. Upon information and belief, and despite serious doubts about the veracity of the video, defendants wholly failed to investigate the video and the statements contained therein before causing or permitting its publication. Like I said before, there's no way for us to go and say, oh, he is a Fed agent, unless, we have documents to see that. But it's no system that we could go into. And even if there is, if you're going to be an informant, they're not going to put information on a website for us to verify that you are an informant. It's like, duh. Specifically, the defamatory statements were publicly debunked over a year ago, including by one of the investigative officers, LAPD officer Greg Kading. And I'm writing his name down too because I want to find that video. Now, we have known in the past that LAPD has not been reliable or an reliable source. So make your own opinion about that. So what did he say? Who clearly stated, we would have not referred to you, Mr. Jones, as an informant because you never were. One of the several videos of LAPD officer Greg Kading publicly debunking the defamatory statement published at the latest on or around August 30th, 2022 can be found at, let me see if I can pull this up. Because if so, we're going to watch it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I want to show y'all this. This is what it says. This video isn't available anymore. I don't know why. Let's get back to the complaint. That's interesting. All right, so defendants could have readily determined that the defamatory statements were completely untrue and only published the video to harm Plaintiff Jones. Further, the sources and authors of the defamatory statements as published by defendants is known to be biased against and openly hostile towards Jones and were hence known by defendants to be completely unreliable. Defendants clearly acted with malice in publishing these false and injurious defamatory statements. The false defamatory statements have caused severe harm and damage to Plaintiff Jones. And in fact, they have put his life in danger. The defamatory statements further directly damaged the let me reread that. The defamatory statements further directly damage plaintiff's occupation as the owner of multiple urban entertainment businesses. Plaintiff has suffered harm to his property, business, trade, and profession due to defamatory statements. I don't see it nowhere. Plaintiff has further suffered harm to his reputation, reputation, shame, mortification, and hurt feelings due to the defamatory statement. Boy, this is a whole bunch of crock. Despite the false accusations of criminal charges and cooperation with the federal officials, Plaintiff has maintained his dignity and integrity as a husband, father, and businessman. Accordingly, the time has come to set the record straight for Plaintiff, his safety, and his livelihood. On January 31st, 2024, Plaintiff timely sent defendants within 20 days after learning of the defamatory statements a notice of defamation and demand. The notice identified Plaintiff, specified the false and defamatory statements in the video on the WSHH channel, and demanded a correction of the defamatory statements. A true and correct copy of the January 21st, 2024 correction demand is attached here to as Exhibit B. On Thursday, February 1st, 2024, Defendant Media Lab, through the email, responded to confirm receipt of the correction demand. Defendant Media Lab has failed and or refused to issue a correction of any kind. So count one, Wack is suing them for defamation against Media Lab, World Star HipHop, and everybody who is associated with them. Let's see. It says that the defendant's defamatory statements falsely claim that the plaintiff was charged with a federal crime or federally indicted. These statements are per se defamatory and were not made in connection with any judicial and official proceeding. Like I said before, guys, if hypothetically, if he is an informant for the feds, you're not going to find any information on their internet about that. I'm just saying. Defendant publicly made and or ratified the scurrilous defamatory statements recklessly and without any basis in fact, and disparaging and false defamatory statements published by defendants in the broadcast on defendant's World Star channel, one of the most prominent video websites in the world. It's slanderous per se because, one, it falsely accuses plaintiff of being charged with criminal acts. Two, falsely accuses plaintiff of being an informant. And yeah, they meant to put 3, has a tendency to injure plaintiff in his profession and occupation by imputing to plaintiff's quality of character, something that has a natural tendency to lessen the profits of the plaintiff's business and occupation, or that causes him to be shunned or avoided, or that exposes him to hatred, contempt, ridicule, or oblique, oh my gosh, oblique, olipoy. I'm gonna look that up and I'm gonna say it correctly, especially in the context of the hip hop industry. This is really funny because the videos that I do see from Wack, or if somebody shares it and I happen to listen in, you have hate for a lot of people. You ridicule a lot of people. You say a lot of negative things about a lot of people. But when it's done to you, you have severe harm and injury. Okay. All right. The public condemnation of plaintiff in response to the defamatory statements has been swift and relentless, with discussions proliferating within the hip hop industry. Oh, bull. There were many online articles, posts, comments, and public statements, including without limitation on Twitter and on other social media platforms, republishing defendants' defamatory statements without any basis in fact. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm probably one of the many that has not seen anything when it came to whatever this is about. So very interesting. All righty. Numerous members of the public accepted the defamatory statements as true and made internet commentary confirming their belief based on the false defamatory statements that plaintiff had been previously charged with a crime and or was an informant. Oh my gosh, he's so upset that y'all find out. Y'all found out he was an informant. Defendants' defamatory statements are libelous on their face, as they have adversely affected plaintiff's reputation, exposes plaintiff to hatred, contempt, ridicule, and that right there, obloquy, I want to say, and have a tendency to injure plaintiff in his profession and occupation, including without limitation within the hip hop industry. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't know all these words I ain't never seen in my life. But I will look it up so I can learn. This is a new word for today. All right, so the defendant's video and defamatory statements were seen by millions of people who reside in California and elsewhere. So he's worried about the folks of Cali. Y'all Cali folks, why y'all do this to that man? Defendants made and published defamatory statements either with knowledge that they were false or with reckless disregard as to the truth and felicity. At a minimum, defendant failed to use reasonable care to determine the truth or falsity of defamatory statements about plaintiff. As defendant's defamatory statements identified above as per se defamatory, plaintiff damages are assumed. As a direct and proximate result of the above described defamatory statements, plaintiff has suffered a loss of reputation and damage to his trade and his profession, all to his general damage in the amount to be determined at the time of trial, but in the excess of the court's general jurisdiction. Wack, what reputation and what damage? Well, maybe he isn't telling, a lie. He couldn't even bail whatchamacallit out. In publishing the above described defamatory statements, each of the defendants was the agent, alter ego, employee, principal, partner, joint venturer, employer, or in some other capacity, uh, derivatively responsible for each of the acts of the other defendant. As a direct and proximate result of the above described defamatory statements, plaintiff has suffered special damages in the amount to be determined at the time of trial, but in the excess of the court's general jurisdiction. Defendants published the above described defamatory statements with malice and oppression because of their feelings of hatred and ill will toward plaintiff, and with willful and conscious disregard for the plaintiff's rights, thereby justifying an award of punitive damages against defendants. Notably, defendants intended to use their popular platform to injure plaintiff through their false statements. Defendants' false and unprivileged statements were couched as facts, not opinion, and the defendants made such statements with malice, with knowledge that these statements are false, or with reckless disregard as to whether they are false or not. These false and unprivileged statements have injured plaintiff's reputation. These false and unprivileged statements have caused plaintiff shame, mortification, hurt feelings, emotional trauma, and harm to his personal, his family, and his professional relations. This is so sad. Mr. WACK100, aka Mr. Cash Jones, requests that the court enter a final judgment in his favor as follows. For an award of general damages according to the proof at the time of trial. For an award of compensatory damages in the amount to be determined. So he wants a sum of money. For special damages according to the proof at the time of trial, but in the amount in the excess of the jurisdictional limits of this court. For interest on any monetary award to plaintiff as at the legal rate. For punitive damages for the cost of this suit incurred herein, and for such other further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Interesting, Wack. His reputation has been diminished. It has affected him in all aspects of life. All right, so let's see what these exhibits are. Oh, this is very tiny. So it's just showing World Star HipHop. This is their YouTube page, just kind of showing who they are. All right, so this exhibit B. Okay, so this is the notice of defamation and demand. Let's see. So his litigation counsel sent this to Media Lab, World Star HipHop, all of these people here. On or about January 27, 2024, the following video was published on the official World Star HipHop channel on YouTube. WACK100 exposed for being an alleged Federal Informant documentary. I'm seeing if it pops up. I don't think that it does. Nope. It's gone. Let's see. The title of the video is WACK100 being exposed for being an alleged Federal Informant documentary. The video is described on the World Star channel as Money Mark confirms that Wack was an informant in his case. Plus, we break down all of Wack's. Oh, okay. So this is pretty much what I just read in a complaint. So they put it in the demand. And this is what they pretty much are saying. The video remains on World Star channel, repeatedly publishing the defamatory statements continuously throughout the world. World Star was and remains aware that the defamatory statements are about Jones. World Star also reasonably understood the defamatory statements to mean that Jones had committed a crime. Indeed, multiple crimes are falsely attributed to Jones. The defamatory statements, however, are all demonstrably and provably false. When did he send this? Because the petition was filed in July. So this demand was sent in January. Okay, so in January, it was still there. Oh, well, it was there. So in the complaint, okay, that's why. That's why he filed the complaint, because his reputation is damaged. World Star, let me see, where was I at? There we go. So indeed, Jones has never been charged with a federal crime or indicted federally at any time. Jones has never been an informant or a confidential source with any federal agency or law enforcement. World Star knew that defamatory statements were false and had serious doubts about the truth of the statements, or acted with reckless disregard as to the truth or falsity of the defamatory statements. Accordingly, World Star clearly acted with malice and publishing these fake and injurious defamatory statements. Unsurprisingly, the false defamatory statements have caused severe harm and damages to Jones, and in fact, they have put his life in danger. The defamatory statements further directed damage Jones' occupation as the owner of multiple urban entertainment businesses. Jones has suffered harm to his property. Okay, so y'all just pretty much what they stated in the demand, they put in the complaint. All right, so that says So they're giving them a notice to remove the video and correct the action. And if they don't, they will move to, let's see, according if World Star wishes to discuss a pre-litigation resolution of this matter, we request a response on or before February 6, 2024. That's usually what they do. They send a demand letter, and say, hey, you do this before we proceed with litigation. Because once you enter into litigation, it's a wrap. It's costly. It's costly and it is time consuming. And they also provided a preservation notice, which is good. So if there is a video, even though we're asking you to remove it from the, your platforms, we still want you to have a copy of it, plus any other documents that you feel that you used in this matter. So, and it'll discuss it. So preservation notice, it says, as litigation in a distinct possibility, we hereby further demand that all necessary steps are taken to identify, retain, and preserve all emails, text messages, social media posts, message sent via social media or related platforms, documents, tangible items, and all other electronically stored information in World Star's possession, custody, or control that may contain information that is relevant to the claims and defenses in this dispute. Be advised that any deletion of such data or information may constitute evidence of spoliation. This data includes not only information that can be perceived and read by World Star's computer systems, but also all data resident on relevant electronic media that cannot be perceived by its computer system, but that can be recovered and analyzed using computer forensic techniques. So meaning, don't try to wipe everything off of your computer, because that's what we have computer forensics for. Reservations of rights. Nothing herein contained shall be deemed a waiver of any of Jones's rights or remedies in law or in equity regarding the nature of this dispute, any of which have not here and above set forth are hereby specially reserved. So that was the demand. So the demand was sent out January 31st. They gave them till February 6th to correct, everything, or at least talk pre-litigation. The video was posted January 27th. I need to see. I know somebody has it. Somebody in the YouTube streets must got it. I'm gonna find it because I'm interested as to what they are talking about. I want to formulate my own opinion, as well as whoever Money Mark is and these Texas firearms. I need to pull up. I need to pull up that case. Yeah, I'm making myself a note. So yeah, so Mr. WACK 100, he is hurt. His reputation is ruined. His business is ruined. Y'all hurt his family mentally. He needs to get paid for this. I'm really being sarcastic if y'all can't hear that. So tell me what you think about this. You know, WACK is suing the owner or manager of Media Labs.ai, who is the manager owner over World Star HipHop for defamation. That video that was placed here on the internet streets has caused him harm and injury, and he is seeking to get paid. I want to know y'all thoughts about Mr. WACK 100. I really do. Please put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Also share it. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Replay Gang, what it do, what it do, what it do. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, be blessed, and I'm out. Bye.